A smooth takeoff, but where will they land? The uphill battle of the female ski jumpers aiming for Olympic recognition. Can the old-timer hold off the young guns for a record 8th world title? And the scam targeting African teenagers who dream of football glory in Europe. Welcome to Sportsworld, Al Jazeera's regular look at sports on every continent. I'm Andy Richardson. Now, if you're a fan of sports quizzes, we've got a question just for you. With the Northern Hemisphere ski season winding down, which is the only Winter Olympic sport that women don't compete in? The answer, ski jumping. Al Jazeera's European correspondent, Carrie Brown, travelled to Slovenia to find out why women can't jump.
Annette Sagan is the world's leading women's ski jumper. She's jumped Olympic hills on a number of occasions, but unlike her male training partners, she's never had the chance to compete in a Winter Games.
I'm very sad, of course. I will probably never compete in the Olympics, and the Olympics is the greatest honor you can do as a sportswoman.
Until 2005, the International Ski Federation, the FIS, believed it was medically unsafe for women to ski jump at the highest level. Sagan was barred from jumping in 120-metre hill events, which she had the experience to compete in. Finally, her frustration spilled over in a live radio interview. When asked why she couldn't compete in the event, Sagan said it was because she didn't have, shall we say, a male appendage. Her comments caused shock, but did give the event the press attention it sought.
The reason that I used all the strong words was probably just because I want to jump that hill and I want to do it now. But it developed to become a fight for the sport, so that's probably why I'm me.
In 2005, the FIS finally dismissed outdated medical views and is now supporting the event. The international circuit will be upgraded to World Cup status in 2009. A step forward. But the timing of the decision has delayed the event's inclusion into the Olympics. The World Cup event will only begin the year before the next Winter Games. Too late for the International Olympic Committee to consider women's ski jumping for Vancouver 2010.
In the case of women's ski jumping, to have a World Championship only 1 year before the Olympic Games, the judgment was that that's really not the technical level at this stage. But of course, moving forward, there will be a number more World Championships that will have taken place.
Annette Sagan and her biggest rival, Lindsey Vann, will be too old to compete for medals in 2014. Lindsey at least has jumped at an Olympic Games, back in 2002 at Salt Lake City. Then the FIS was still arguing that the sport was unsafe for women. However, the American was allowed to be one of the pre-jumpers who, ironically, test the safety of the hill for the male competitors. Lindsey's involvement somewhat undermined the safety argument, and the American has her own ideas why the FIS held back the sport for so long.
I jump on the Olympic hills that were used in Salt Lake, the 90 and K120, every day at home. And them also telling us that we're not capable of jumping 120s is also stupid. I think they're very afraid of what can happen in women's jumping, that we might jump further than the men, or we might jump as far as the men. I think that is the underlying reason for all of these other reasons. I think it's just a facade in front of everything.
Canada's leading medal contender, Katie Willis, will now also have to settle for pre-jumping at her home Olympics in Vancouver. But her mother, Jan Willis, backed by the former mayoress of Salt Lake City, has joined the campaign to get the event Olympic status. Mrs. Willis has submitted a human rights complaint in Canada, demanding women's ski jumping be introduced at the 2010 Games.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea that we're actually taking it to the Human Rights Commission. A lot of people don't know that women's ski jumping isn't in the Olympics. We want the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, to know that there's a lot of people that want this in, and that it's the right decision to make.
The complaint was submitted the day Sportsworld arrived at the event in Slovenia. The event coordinator, Benno Havala, a firm supporter of women's ski jumping, subsequently held a meeting with team coaches and FIS representatives. The coaches, while supportive of the complaint, appeared fearful of openly backing it. Soon we saw why. Tempers quickly flared.
We as trainers, it's not our job to politicize the sport. We're just trying to develop more ski jumpers to bring the sport along to a level where nobody can argue it anymore. But it's hard to differentiate where you stop as a trainer and trying to get things going for the women and how to keep it productive and not alienate the powers that be.
The Canadian coach was reluctant to speak out.
There's a bunch of things that I don't really want to say and get into because it just creates more of a problem, and Canada, we don't want to cause a problem.
Lindsay Van, now a coach herself, told Sportsworld she believes teams are watchful of their words because they fear repercussions.
If they don't like you, they can find something to disqualify you for. So there's always a fine line of how far you can actually take it and where to actually stop.
It's accepted the growth of women's ski jumping has been restricted in the past, but according to Lindsay, this event is still lacking the full support of the organisation that governs it. Lindsay and Annette, the sport's leading stars, will continue to compete on the intercontinental circuit. In the meantime, Annette is still coming to terms with the fact she will never compete at the highest level.
It would be nice to jump the Olympics too. It would be nice to be involved, a part of this huge winter sports circus. We're not in there. It's just weird. It's wrong. I think we are the only female winter sport not in the Olympics. I guess that makes us special. In a very wrong way.
Carrie Brown, Al Jazeera, Slovenia.
Now, Sportsworld contacted the International Ski Federation following the issues raised in Carrie's report. It gave the following response. The FIS president has strongly supported ladies ski jumping for many years. After the FIS included ladies ski jumping in the World Championships, we immediately submitted to a request to include ladies ski jumping into the Olympic Games from 2010. The FIS also dismissed claims of intimidation, adding, "Such allegations are without any foundation or truth. International technical delegates are assigned to competitions to ensure they're carried out according to the rules and regulations." Now, moving on from jumping to running, and the marathon season is well underway. The London Marathon hits the streets on Sunday, and this year the main attraction will be the men's event, where once again Kenya's Paul Tergat will go head-to-head with longtime rival Haile Gebrselassie of Ethiopia, arguably the two best marathon runners of all time. Joanna Gazarowska recently caught up with the marathon world record holder during one of his training sessions in the hills surrounding the Kenyan capital, Nairobi.
Paul, you've just completed one of your daily training sessions. How do you feel going into the London Marathon?
Now I'm actually in a very intensive training, preparation for London, and I'm happy that everything's going on very well. I'm looking forward really to compete this time in London. Last year I withdrew last minute because of I picked up a very serious injury, a calf muscle injury, which actually saw me pulling out of London. And this time I think everything's going on well. I'm very happy, my spirit is high, I'm in very good health, and looking forward. So far I can't complain.
And the media are saying that this race is going to be you versus Haile Gebrselassie. What do you think of that?
I don't want to see in that light because London has a very strong field. The field, or maybe the elite runners who are assembled in London, is one of the best that I've ever seen. And I don't want maybe to say that maybe it's going to be me and Haile alone, but there will be other maybe very strong runners who will be competing, and it is going to be really a big challenge to all of us. But the most important thing that maybe I want to say that I've trained very well and everything's going on well, and basically we'll see what's going to happen in London.
And you've also said that you want to compete in the Olympics in 2008. Why is it important for you to compete in Beijing?
I think before I retire, I call it maybe quits in international stage. I think I've been competing in many championships, and I've also had a world record before in the 10,000 and the track, and it's only the Olympics really that I'm looking forward. Okay, I have the world record in the marathon also now, but the most important thing for me is that to have a gold medal in the Olympics, and probably I think my collection of medals will be complete, and I'm looking forward. But again, I will see if I would be able to get an opportunity into the Kenyan national team. That would be great. But if not, then I could leave the arena to the young and upcoming sportsmen because our country, we produce really hundreds of athletes each year, and they are of very good and high quality talent. So we will see what's going to happen. I think I've had really very good career. I've had so many medals for the country. Also, I've had good medals. Trophies also for my own. And I think I can't complain. I think I've had the best career ever.
I don't think you bet against him setting another world record in London. We'll be back with more Sportsworld after the break. You're watching Al Jazeera.